Well, hello. I didn't see you come in. Come on in for a minute. Let's talk. So you've got some questions. Excellent. Questions are always a good thing. I'm sure that they're probably something I'll be very interested in talking about. So lay them on me. What you got going on? What's alchemy? That's probably one of my favorite things to talk about, I being an alchemist. Well, alchemy is first and foremost a science. So if someone says that they're an alchemist, they are a scientist, meaning that they'll use an empirical process and evaluate what is observable based upon experimentation and through the entire scientific process. So you might develop a hypothesis and then test your hypothesis, develop a theory, and eventually try to create something in your mind which becomes a logical cognitive practice that is grounded in something solid. Alchemy, in fact, has been practiced for as long as there have been people trying to suss out what's going on in the universe around them. And ultimately, because alchemical foundations reside in mentalism, which is the foundational principle of alchemy, all things eventually come down to what you think. What you think about your universe, and the universe being comprised entirely of thought, that becomes your playground. And alchemy gives you a foundation in order to contextualize your material experience and utilizing not only simple science, but also esoteric science. So alchemy comprises all of the esoteric sciences combined into one. This would include things like the Kabbalah, the Tarot, palmistry, numerology, astrology. Those are like your quintessential five, right? And those all have to do with each other entirely. And alchemy tells you what to do with those, or what they're for, rather. What's amazing about alchemy is that with it, it becomes the language that you can use to express your degree of understanding, which continues to unfold kind of like a lotus flower, just overnight developing into something that is extraordinary. Alchemy gives you access to the collective unconscious mind by a rigorous application of understanding what the symbols are which we surround ourselves with every minute of every day. In fact, once you understand the foundation of alchemical language, you begin to understand that this language is being shattered about you all the time, in every TV show that you ever watch, in every advertisement that you ever see, in every song that you ever hear, in every play that you attend, in every piece of music and music videos that you see. They all actually are drawing on this language, which allows them to create cognitive thought forms, substance in the material world that has residence in the etheric, and is able to resonate between both worlds. We being comprised of both the material and the immaterial, right? So we are, in fact, the fixed and the volatile. And we, as human beings, reside somewhere in the middle of that, which is why we're caught in this place that we're caught in. And alchemy gives us the language to understand all of that by drawing a synthesis between the esoteric sciences and recognizing that they have absolute application within the practical sciences. So that when you, as an alchemist, go outside and you begin to meditate on all the vegetation out there, and you begin to take a look at exactly what its process is, and understand that the light of the sun is actually a process of cognition on such an extraordinary scale that we can't even begin to fathom. And that is the source point of consciousness for our immediate vicinity, and that these plants are able to transmute that into active, physical, life-giving properties to sustain them virtually indefinitely. This is the kind of process that the alchemist is consumed with in terms of understanding how it is that these plants are capable of doing this and how it would be possible for you yourself to do this. Where do you go to learn or study alchemy? Well, first and foremost, if you have the good fortune to live in a community like I do, which has a broad support of multiple interests, you might be lucky to find someone like me who is teaching alchemy directly and saying, hey, I'm a practicing alchemist and I am actually going to teach you what I know. That's what I do. If you're not in that kind of fortunate circumstance and live in a part of the country or the world where that's unavailable, there are books, and there are, of course, organizations and communities of an occult nature that are always available to new members, I'm sure. But none of that is really necessary. See, the beauty of it is, because alchemy is a language, because it is a language, you can learn it just by listening, just by being attentive. You can learn it by being observant, so that when others are speaking in the language of alchemy, in terms of alchemy, you will be able to appreciate what they're saying. And so if you're a solitary practitioner, say, by all means subscribe to this website, because I am 100% seeking to support anyone who wants to learn about alchemy. This is the place to go. I will tell you everything that I know. I'm working on a series of books right now relative to this, because I sense that there's a real need. If you are seeking this path, realize that all religious work is of value to you, because all religious work speaks in alchemical terms. The entire process of saving your soul is an alchemical process contextualized in terms of the soul and you as a independent fragment or something. Alchemically, those of us who practice tend to look upon things in a bit broader scale and recognize that principles in Hinduism perhaps provide a better language for understanding ourselves in alchemical terms. Specifically, the idea that while there are thousands of gods within their pantheon, they are all emanations of the same God, the same expression of the all. And so, likewise, we too are expressions of that. And recognition of that, and that you are an expression of that, then gives you a footing upon which to build and understand yourself alchemically. So that's really how you start, and that's how you practice, and that's what alchemy is. I hope I answered all your questions. And if you have any other questions, leave them in the comments section below. I'll be happy to see if I can do something about answering those as well. Take care. I'll talk to you later.